I need horns, and I need you coming forward a little bit, getting her on the back foot. So your left horn, right on their center line, boogieing up, marching up.
In this video, we're going to look over cornering advice. Specifically, there are three things that the corner is trying to do. They're trying to help you analyze what happened. They're trying to help you create a better outcome to do better in the next round. And they need to do this as fast and quickly and accurately as possible. So they'll use specific language to do so. So for this fight between Amber Kitchen and Jackie Buntan, we're going to look at things. Specifically, we're going to start with analyzing the past and what happened in this first round. So you see Jackie on the back foot, her weight primarily towards the rear. That's what it means to be on the back foot. And you see Amber constantly pressing in, being more aggressive. Usually if the scores are about even, the aggressive person, the person on the front foot, will be looking more successful. That's not always the case, but that's the way it looks. Now we see the front foot. So we look at Amber. She is heavy on the front foot. She's able to attack, able to kick a bit better. Jackie is just out of range a lot of times, missing with a kick there. And Amber is more successfully taking up space. So she's encroaching on Jackie all the time. Jackie uses horns or her front hands to negate some of the space between the two athletes and control the space and timing. So especially with that lead hand, it's very open, and she paws away at Amber. She uses that front hand as a gauge, feints with it as well, and sometimes lunges in with a punch, usually the hook. Now that we've looked at round one and a little bit of what's happened, we're going to look at what Popejoy is saying to Buntan and how that is going to help her in the next rounds.
I need horns, and I need you coming forward a little bit, getting her on the back foot. So your left horn, right on their center line, boogieing up, marching up, walking her back, getting rid of what comes at you. Boom. Finishing up hands, finishing up legs, all right? Big breath. Just stay on that front foot.
Now we look at that use of the horns again. You see Jackie using that lead hand especially to paw at Amber and also sometimes brace against her or come off the center line. It's very effective for throwing the punches as well. It's a good way for her to gauge distance, and sometimes she's even can be able to lock up with Amber and just stall the action. But here primarily she's using it as a measuring device, a way to figure out, probe, and just sort of figure out the spacing between the two. Here we see that lock physically. Here are the hands and leg kicks that Popejoy wanted. We see Buntan throwing the hands. The leg kick is always open. Buntan isn't necessarily doing combinations, hands to legs, but is more hands and then leg or a kick. There's hands again, a brace there, and then a kick. We go back to that single leg kick, and it's a little bit of mixing it up. There's a hard hook from Buntan and the push kick to the thigh, bracing hands, and then she'll come in with more hands, and then the leg kick. So it's a little disjointed, but it's still working. The last thing is the center line, just shifting the head and body off of that middle line to prevent Kitchen from attacking successfully. You see it in that last punch exchange. Also, she just shifts around after each exchange, so she's not standing in that 50-50. And that knockdown, she was off the center line, which allowed her for the knockdown. So in between rounds, the corner has about 60 seconds in one championship, 2 minutes, a bit longer at some of the stadium shows. But you need to advise the athlete quickly and accurately. This leads to a lot of people using codes or simplified language. So one of them is the center line. So if you draw a line down the athletes, the center line cuts right through them. You see in this exchange between Jackie and Amber, you see Jackie's head is off the center line, whereas Amber's is on the center line, and her lower body is on the center line as well. Then we look at the back foot. So that's where the weight is primarily. Being on the back foot is okay if you're effectively countering, but that was not always the case with Buntan. You can see with the arrow, the weight is right on that back foot. The front foot, of course, the weight is on the front foot. So this is very good for aggression. You can see with the arrow, the weight is on that front foot. Now we look at the horns. So this is something that Popejoy talks about a lot. It seems to be like using the hands to control the space between them. And we go to a brief moment with him and Janet Todd talking about the horns.
I need horns.
Yes, you need
and I need combination hands.